Alright, welcome back to the Reloading Closet. This video I'll be going over my process for wet tumbling. As you can see there's the drum for the tumbler. It is a Frankfurt Arsenal wet tumbler. Box says it can do about 1,000 pieces of 223 brass. Like I said, we don't even have a quarter of that right here. So this is nowhere near the capacity, but still works all the same. So first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and dump this brass into this screen. You can pick these screens up from Amazon. They're relatively cheap, but this process right here, you're just gonna shake it up and you're shimmying all the dirt. And shimmy all the dirt out of the brass. Just like that. Alright. And then from this point, take your drum right here. Now, as you can see, you can look in there. That's that Southern Shine stainless media. Notice how it's a lot finer than those pins. It gets into the primer pockets much better. Alright, and then from here, I'm just going to take the brass and put it in. You will notice there's a little bit of water in there. I like to keep it wet. I've seen a lot of people recommend doing the same thing. Keeps it nice and clean, keeps the rust down. There's a little bit of rust you can see in some of the drier spots, it's actually more on the other side. And the rust doesn't bother the pins. They'll get rusty, and as soon as you start tumbling, as soon as you tumble, that rust will get taken care of and get cleaned off. We got everything in there. Alright, so what you'll need, we got 1 gallon milk jug, a tablespoon that's been chewed up by Mac, and half a teaspoon. So at this point, you're also going to want a hot water source. So we'll go ahead and get that going. You want this water as hot as you can get it. Usually let this run for a couple of minutes. Alright, so I got it nice and hot. Take your gallon jug. And fill it up. So we got a full gallon jug right there. Take our tumbler. Alright, now key, pour the water in first. So take it, dump your water in the brass. You don't want to put your soap in first, because if you put soap in first, as you start dumping, it's going to suds up and starts coming out the top, and this makes for a pain in the butt getting it all to fit in there and not making a mess. Alright, water in there, so you see about where it is on the jug, almost full to the top, and still plenty of room for more brass. Now we're filling up 1 tablespoon of dish soap, and I just use regular Dawn blue dish soap. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Alright. Dump that in there. You mix it up. Clean off your tablespoon measure. All right. And then your lemishine. Alright, and this, you do not want to overdo it with the lemishine. You will stain the glass, it gets very acidic, and it is not good. Well, it won't ruin the brass, but it doesn't make it look as pretty. You end up with like a random rose color. Alright, I see typically it's a quarter, so this is probably a little bit more because we do have less brass. So with the ratio to brass to water, you want to increase it a little bit. Alright, rinse it off. Then all you gotta do, that there. And that on there. Alright, so back out here in the garage. Alright, so you had the tumbler base. The most you can go is for a 3-hour time frame. I'm going to do a little experimenting this time. The last time I ran it was 3 hours. It was real nice and clean, but I've been seeing a lot of things where guys are only running it for an hour with this kind of mixture and had good success. I don't think I clarified, so it is 1 tablespoon of Dawn regular dish soap, 1/4 teaspoon of lemishine per 1 gallon of water. Alright. And that knob, and as you can see, it's pretty loud, but inside you can barely even hear it. Alright, see you in an hour. Alright, so just finished. Go ahead. Take a look at her. Screw it. Get out. Reach down in there. And look at that. Beautiful, spotless, clean brass. Alright, let's grab some other ones. Double check them. Look at that. It really doesn't get much better than that right there. Now, you saw how dirty this stuff was when it went in. And it is freaking spotless. Alright. Alright, so here in the bathtub, we'll take this thing right here and tighten it down. So I like to drain it into a sealed tub because some of the stainless steel media chips will come out as you're going through this process. And then you can just take a magnet. As you can see how filthy that water is. Alright, yeah, nasty. She hates it when I do this, but it cleans up pretty easy. It's just as simple as cleaning up the bathtub. Look down in there and see all that shiny brass. Actually, I'll go ahead and open this up, let it drain out. My magnet. Usually I don't have too many issues with it coming out in the first couple of rinses. As you can see, nothing on there. That one's stuck in there. Alright, so now we've drained it. Again, going back to the hot water. Get the hot water going again. And you're gonna do this multiple times. Just let it fill up. Get all the suds out. Alright. When it stops sudsing, pull it to the side. Ooh, that's hot. Alright. Dump it out. And you're just gonna rinse it. Rinse it, rinse it, rinse it so you're not seeing any more soap coming out. Or dirt. See how it got a little dirty there at the end? Still cleaning some of that stuff out. Again. You'll see it, suds will come up again. Let them out. Probably have to do it, I think it's 4 or 5 times. This one might not be as much because there wasn't as much brass in there. See there. Water's looking pretty clean coming out of there, so maybe one more time should do it, depending on how much suds come up here. Still looking a little dirty coming out there, so not much soap left. We'll give it one more for good measure. Drain, make sure you don't see any of the media there, so we're good there. I usually end up catching a couple of chips, but that magnet takes care of it. Always good to have a good magnet, and that one's not even the greatest. It's a cheapo from AutoZone, but it works. Shut this off. Make sure it's draining. Okay, so there's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can just take this thing, all right, with all the brass in it, and dump it straight into the media separator. It is a little bit more messy. You are dumping a lot more of the media out of the tumbler, so therefore you chance a lot more media getting all over the place. I'm actually going to take this and put it into the tub when I do it. Another way that I found that works really well, if you don't have a media separator, all right, fill it back up with water, and then you'll grab it out by handfuls. All right, and it's sitting in this position right here, but as you grab it by the handful, pull it to where it's almost out of the water and give it a real good shake. That water will help move all the media will fall to the bottom and makes the cleaning process a lot easier. Like I said, and if you don't have the media separator, you're going to have some kind of sifter of some sort, kind of like what I showed you earlier in the video, to help separate the media from the brass itself. Okay, still working on the whole camera angle thing. Hopefully this should be a decent shot. So you'll take this. All right. A bit of water coming out of that. This should be this point, you definitely want to close your drain on your tub so none of this media escapes. Give it a little shake. All right, one more in there. As you can right hear it tingling around in the tub, but doing it in the tub makes it easy to clean up, especially with that magnet. All right, that gets everything. Oh, casing stuck together. It happens, especially if you tunnel 9mm and 5.56, but it's easily rendered. Okay, so we'll take this. Up. Now it's locked in there. It's off my hand. Alright. So then you've got the other piece here, the top. Goes on there like that. And it's as simple as casing just got through. I actually broke the first one that I got, and then Frankfurt Arsenal sent me another one, but they didn't exactly send me the right part for it, but it works. I mean, it wasn't did fall out, but take them. All right, so here we'll go right to our dehydrator racks. These are right here. Grab a handful. Alright, so we have our dehydrator set up here. Alright, and here it is. Let it run. Let it run about an hour, and then check it. See you in an hour. Alright, brass is now dry. Spent a little over an hour in the dehydrator, and you can see that stuff is gorgeous. I mean, it really doesn't need to be more clean than this. This is damn near perfect. See if I can get a good angle of it down in there. Not wanting to focus, but that's what I was talking about. Primer pockets. It's not 100%. So an hour in the tumbler was probably not enough, at least to my satisfaction. Go back to focus. But most of them are pretty clean. That's not terrible by any means. But I think an extra half an hour in the tumbler would have made it all the difference insofar as the primer pocket goes. But as you can see there, you can look down in there. If anybody's ever bought brand new brass, I mean, that's what it looks like. All right. So one issue I did come across, and I kind of knew about it. I'd seen it before. You get instances where your 9mm shell casings perfectly fit over top of your 223 or 300 blackout. I think most of these are actually 300 blackout. And which one of them wasn't even deprimed, which not a big deal. I'll deprime it and scrub the pocket a little bit. Not a big deal. The only issue with these is that when you pull them apart, it don't take much to pull apart. All the shavings or media still in there, and this one is still quite full of media. Piece of carbon steel, which is piece of wood. That's normal. And that stainless media, you will, if you do get that Southern Sign media, you will see that there's a bunch of wood in it, and it's not a big deal. It all gets ground out, cleaned up the first couple of times you use the media. But as you can see there, quite a bit of media. Now this is just 2 shell casings. And it does feel a little bit on the wet side, so I'll probably run these casings through the dehumidifier again and dry them out a little bit more. It'll be easier to get that media out of there. It won't be so sticky to the casings. And it also seems that, so there's even some water in there. Okay. Hey, it's a learning process, and that's what these videos are all about. But you can see where that brass had ended up in that shell casing. The difference in the polished with the media versus the part that didn't get touched. Not a big deal. So yeah, these are definitely going to go through the dehydrator again. I had said dehumidifier, dehydrator. Yeah, dehumidifier wouldn't do much. It'd take forever. But open these up. Yep. Some more media. Oh yeah, this thing is packed. It happens. Maybe I won't be tumbling 9mm brass with 556 or 300 blackout. If this persists, which I'm sure it would, causing too many issues, which not a big deal. I don't shoot a ton of 9mm as of right now, so I won't have to worry about it too much. Yeah, definitely that's full. So, oh no, that's just a soap bubble. Okay. So yeah, hey, lessons learned. That's what this is all about. So that's pretty much it for wet tumbling brass. You see the process I went through, but the outcome. Now, I can't compare it to anything because I don't have a dry tumbler yet, at least. And the plan is to get one in the future, but that one will be used for actually tumbling completed rounds and polishing up completed rounds to give them that nice, an extra shine. And it also puts a protective coating on the brass itself, so it doesn't get as tarnished as easily if it gets wet while you're out of the range, and it maintains that nice finish. But that's for future endeavors. That's going above and beyond what you would really need to be effective at reloading. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them down below. I am uploading the a little screw up there, so I'm reshooting this part. You can find me on YouTube at The Reloading Closet. Check out my videos there. Like, subscribe to the channel. Kind of upload them to Facebook and YouTube. I think YouTube might be the better route to go, but I'm using Facebook to kind of get the viewership up. It's much easier to share across the board. Little sneak preview for the next video. Sizing. All right. Till next time.